Hey Beth, it's time for Nursery Know-Hows.
Okay, let's do it. Hey guys, welcome to Nursery Know-How Week 2. My name's Beth, and this week we are going to discuss 2 questions about transplanting irises and what to do with plants that were damaged by the hard freeze. Go ahead and like our video and subscribe to our channel right now. Our first question came from Vivian, and she asked when would be a good time to specifically transplant irises, but we're just going to talk about perennial flowers. They are all going to be about the same when it comes to transplanting. Most of our plants are dormant right now, meaning that kind of like they're just asleep, so it's a great time to transplant them. Whenever you go to transplant, you need to be very careful not to dig a hole that is too deep. Once you dig your hole, you're going to put some Permatill in the bottom of it. Permatill is just slate, so it's tiny pieces of slate that help hold in the moisture in the hot summer months, but it also helps drain the water out during the cooler months or the wet months. That ensures that your bulb or your tubers don't rot. After you put your Permatill in the hole, we suggest using Daddy Pete's planting soil. You can just take a small handful and put it right in the hole. Then you're going to use the Bio-Tone. It's a starter fertilizer, so it's really going to ensure that your bulbs and your tubers can throw out some roots and just have good growth on them for the spring. Once you do Permatill, then soil, then Bio-Tone, you're going to put your bulb or tuber on top of that, and then you can cover it back up. For things like irises or daylilies, you just want to cover up those roots or the tuber. For things like bulbs, you just want to have enough where most of the bulb is covered up, but not the top part, especially if it's showing a green shoot on it. Once we do all that, we're going to mulch it. Mulch is going to ensure that it doesn't freeze. Once we disturb the soil by planting, there's a good chance that it could freeze in a lot cooler weather. So just mulch it or put pine straw on top for insulation. We're also going to focus on where to plant these bulbs and tubers. For things like irises and daylilies, you're going to plant them in full sun. We count summer sun, not winter sun. For things like hostas, they do well in the shade, so you want to make sure they get morning sun at most, but they can stand full day shade. Once you get your bulbs and tubers planted, you're going to fertilize them in the spring. Remember, when we plant them, we're going to fertilize with the Bio-Tone starter fertilizer, so that's going to help that growth until they come out in the spring. Once they start to pop out of the ground in spring, we recommend the Flower-Tone. It's a granular product, you're just gonna sprinkle it right on top. Our next question is, what do I do with my plants that look damaged because of the hard freeze? Here in North Carolina, right before Christmas, we got some really cold temperatures, which we're really not used to. So some of your plants might look sad, but don't worry, they will bounce back. In the spring, when they start to get new leaves on them again, and when they start to green up, you'll really start to see that they're fine. Our plants sometimes will go dormant, or they might start to protect themselves, so you might see things like black leaves, or some of your leaves might have fallen off, but it's okay. This spring, when it does warm up, you might have to do a little tip pruning, which means you'll have to cut off 1 to 2 inches around the outside of your plant. We do recommend fertilizing typically about mid to late March here once things do start to warm up. Fertilize and a small trim and you'll be good to go. If you have any plants that look damaged, don't worry, just leave them alone until spring. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just comment below. If you haven't already, click the thumbs up to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more helpful tips as we approach spring.